Speaking of suffering, chat, rape. So this is a story that pisses me off on both sides of the aisle. This is a tell-all expose by Lauren Southern, who's been out of the limelight for a little while. She had a serious fall from grace that started with her Asian husband abandoning her and their son to pursue further career in the U.S. federal government because apparently he was shoulder tapped and said, "Hey, you work for the feds. If you want to advance in your career, you can't be married to this thought terrorist named Lauren Southern who works in right-wing media." So he said, okay, I want to advance in my job and not shame my grandparent. So he divorced his wife, Lauren, and abandoned his son to pursue this career. So immediately everyone was like, okay, Lauren Southern, I guess that's what you get for race mixing with an Asian. However, it didn't stop there. She had a little brief foray into a little bit of feminism. In particular, she was upset that the basically she was treated very poorly, and you could say she deserved it, but I think it's objective to say that when she made her return, she was treated very poorly. So she said, it's really terrible how the right treats women. However, that while the turfs opened their arms to Lauren Southern and said, "Come here, my princess. We will welcome you and we will rehabilitate you and we'll teach you the way of how to hate men." She then turned her back on the turfs even and said that actually um, some women are terrible. Women should not be able to vote. So then the turfs were like, "Okay, so you're still retarded. You haven't learned your lesson." So she managed to very successfully in a short amount of time piss off and alienate both the feminist and also the right wing contingent that she had developed over her career. Then she disappeared for a while, lived in a trailer with her son, and disappeared again after a brief response to basically say that her life had been completely ruined. And now has come back with an autobiography that people didn't actually read, and then did commentary on. I haven't read it, but I've read a little bit more than some people who made entire videos. I'm just going to say the name, The Quartering. So here's what happened, okay? In this book, Lauren Southern says that a long time ago, before Andrew Tate was popular, she was in the UK with him, and she got drunk, and they ended up in the same bed. Now, she was into him, which is cringe and disgusting and extremely embarrassing and a personal humiliation for her. And while they were cuddly, she did not want to have sex with him. Andrew Tate took it upon himself to deny her request to not have sex and instead held her down, strangled her, and raped her in the bed. Now, obviously, the correct take is that you should never allow yourself to be vulnerable as a single woman around a brown Mohammedan because they rape by nature. Not only by nature through his brownness, but by nurture through his Mohammedanness. Rape is literally an intrinsic part of his character, and if you are around someone like Andrew Tate, you will be raped. So I don't know what the fuck she was expecting. Now, obviously, rape is still bad, so I'm not going to say that she deserved it. I think that it's very possible to say, "What the fuck were you expecting?" and then still also say people shouldn't get raped. I think that's possible. That's a very nuanced take. That is like the piss off both sides take, and I don't know why because I feel like it's very reasonable. So a lot of people on the right actually immediately saw that this white woman was accusing this brown Mohammedan sex pest who's also been accused of rape by everybody else on the fucking planet and said, "What? She's making this up. Why didn't she tell the police?" In part because the viral tweet that included the excerpt about Andrew Tate raping her was taken out of context. The context being the immediate next paragraph saying, "I went to the police, but it was in the UK, and they told me, sorry, you're in the UK, idiot. He's Romanian. There's nothing we can do. You got raped, lol." So she did go to the police. She even got medically tested, has a rape kit, and offered to post the evidence. But Jeremy Hamley saw a viral tweet and decided to make a whole slot video on that instead of doing any research whatsoever. Now, here's a fun fact about this, by the way. You can download her book about being raped, among other things, and you can get a PDF or EPUB of this book. Grok lets you, if you have a blue check mark on Twitter, upload this document in the exact same way that Google LM allows you to upload to Notebook LM allows you to upload PDF files and then ask AI questions about it. And in fact, even the Adobe Acrobat now has an AI generative summary program built into it. So if you were, let's say, a multimillionaire who ran a media conglomerate industry, You could buy this $9 book off Amazon, take the PDF file, upload it to literally anything on the internet at this point, and then ask, did Lauren Southern go to the police after being raped? And the AI would tell you, without you actually having to read this fucking book, that yes, she did. So the level of laziness on this, we have literal computer brains that exist and can read books for you and provide detailed summaries. I do it all the time. Like if I have an 80-page federal indictment that I want to talk about on stream, I will upload the indictment directly into a notebook LM or something else, and then I'll ask it questions and I'll say like, did this happen? Did this happen? And I try to get a summary from that. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm subjecting myself to AI hallucinations or whatever, and I'm perhaps not doing full due diligence, but I'm at least trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And it takes minutes. So I don't know. I find that really embarrassing. If you're lazier than me, you're fucking up. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Maybe I'm just really good at being lazy. I'm really good at computers. So this is my computer teacher when I was in 9th and 10th grade, he had an expression that he liked to pull out all the time, that programmers are inherently lazy. So you do all the hard work to make a computer program because you're a lazy fuck and you don't want to do shit over and over again. So you program a computer to do it for you. So I feel like that's always been very true. And it's like, yeah, I'll go the long way to get this set up the way that I want it to, so I don't ever have to do this again. That's that's basically how I work. So I'm very lazy, but I'm lazy in a way where it's like I'm gonna let the computers do shit for me instead of just winging it. Um, so I don't know. I don't think she's lying because it doesn't make any sense for her to lie. She's not trying to get back into politics, I guess. By the way, in case you're wondering, it's so frustrating because it's like I feel like what I say is a common sense take, but then people really react negatively when I say shit like this. This is the precise reason why women don't come out and talk about rape, because you Andrew Tate is a brown Muslim who's been accused of rape and sex trafficking in like 4 different countries at this point. He's as much of a rapist as you could possibly get. He's as much of a, he could walk around in a shirt that just says rape in it. I rape. That could be his shirt. And then Lauren Southern can say that he raped her. And then the people would just be like, you're just trying to get notoriety by saying you were raped. Like, okay, everybody else is on the rape train, so you got to get on it too, Lauren Southern. Okay, I see how it is. That's like does it irritates me because it's like he's a brown Muslim. You have a brown Muslim and a white woman, and you're applying like Sharia law to this. Like, we're gonna need 3 white women to equal the testimony of this brown Muslim when it comes to this rape accusation. Like come the fuck on. Why are you like this? It's like it is like a very like Andrew Tate thing where I remember whenever a woman does something, like whenever a woman, like for instance, there was a story about there was a white woman in Colorado who was the attorney general presiding over the case of that black Somali zombie that attempted to molest a child. And then she said, we're going to dismiss the case because he has an IQ of like 65. So we can't try him as an adult because he's mentally incapacitated. And then everyone was like, why are white women allowed to do anything? White women are just the worst. And it's like when it's like one retard white woman on a like a judge's bench, it's all white women, repeal the 19th. But when it's like some lib shit cuckold, judge who is trying to stop Bolin Blump because he's an orange Hitler Mussolini fascist, you're like, liberals. It's never like, God, men shouldn't be allowed to be judges. Look at how emotionally compromised he is. He's only ruling because he doesn't like Donald Trump. Like, do you think that maybe that your perspective as somebody who has a penis is perhaps biasing you towards this? No. Okay, this is an objective thing that you've seen through pattern recognition through your high IQ. Okay. It's like I mentioned Andrew Tate reminded me of that because there was a tweet that he made that pissed people off where he said like, white men are such cuckold, pussy, spineless faggots, and you guys deserve to lose because you're such losers. And I deserve to rape all your white women because you're all such spineless queers. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's so racist towards white people." But then white men will say the exact same thing about their own women. They'll be like, if you just take that Andrew Tate tweet and you replace white men with white women, everyone's like, "He's so base. I'm subscribing to the Manhood Academy today." It sickens me, chat. It sickens me, the self-hatred. I will never embrace self-hatred, chat. You can call me a male feminist all you want. I'm not doing it.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is the CACA. Remember to like and subscribe.